G'day good people, the Gofundme campaign is in its 30th week and we are about 75% of our way to goal. That's including the PayPal donations. Who are we going to honour this week on the Champions column of the Column of Heroes? Well, they are already on the Champions column, but here they are again. They are Mark Sutherland for the 13th time, Captain Asparagus for the 12th time, Greg Mickelson for the 4th and 5th time, Curtis Hafferman for the 4th time, and Gary Carlson for the 2nd time. Now, who is going on the Column of Heroes? We have Raymond Pratt for the 4th time, James Smith for the 5th time, Garrett Rose, Ron Malinowski for the 4th time, Ian Colquhoun for the 8th time, David Olsen for the 4th time, and Perry Smith for the 3rd time. Now, who is going to be drawn up onto the boat this week? We have Brian Brace for the 2nd time, Bill Rikolowski, Christopher Rotler, Ron Roth, Frederick Meyer, and Jar Valstar. Thank you, good people, for your top support. We are almost there. G'day, good people. Here's the second half of the interview with Scarlett and Natalie to get on as crew with Sailing into Freedom. And I've also peppered it with stories. I got lost in one of my hard drives and I found some photos. This is my pre-YouTube days. And so there's no video, there's just a couple of photos that have reminded me. So I've told some stories and you just have to put up with it because I just shoved it in.
I think I'm quite confident.
Yeah.
And playful. I just love to have fun.
Because that's what we need on Sailing to Freedom. We need some playfulness, we need some charming faces, liveliness, because we're 96% of us out there are, you know, perfection out there. Sorry. I tend to not do the usual things with sailing. I tend to not go to marinas. I tend to want to go to anchorages that might be tricky, and with the new boat, actually I should say this, especially with the new boat, we're going to have kick-up rudders and we're going to have a draft of less than 2 feet. Yeah, the combination of kick-up rudders and shallow draft just allows us to go to places that not the usual cruising crowd would go to. Now, a lot of the guides that you see out there are written by Dashu, Lucas, Nigel Calder, the Parties. They're all monohull people, and so consequently they have quite a big draft. And so the anchorages they go to and they write about are for monohulls. Now, there are some cat people going out and seeing some amazing places, but by and large, they're limited, okay? So all you really need is Google Map. Go suss it out. Check out all these tiny little blue dots in the middle of nowhere. Try and get some good resolution. Sometimes you don't have good resolution, which is a bit of an issue. And go visit it. So let's just check out some of the places I did. This is before I started the YouTube channel, and I didn't have any fancy cameras. I just had my Samsung, which was like 5 years old camera, and so I didn't really take anything. So I was traveling with my friend Oliver from France and a girl called Tiffany, and we saw some amazing things. But let's just check out some of these islands to see the possibilities that monohulls miss out on. Let's first look at a conventional anchorage. If you notice, we've got a beautiful lagoon here. We've actually got an entranceway and there's an island. Everything that a cruiser would love. And of course, if everything that a cruiser would love, there's usually heaps of boats. There's 20 boats here, and I've been here before. This is a place called Lady Musgrave, not very far from the coast, or Bundaberg, easy to get to, and consequently the reef's trashed, there's not much fish, and all the wildlife, manta rays, big tiger sharks, hammerhead sharks have moved off to nicer waters. But let's check out this place. Now, I used to go to this place, Northwest Island. Not many boats anchor here because it's a really rolly anchorage. There's no real bay to encompass you, and so you get the swell wrapping around from the right and the left. But if you look closely and you've got shallow draft, and you not necessarily kick up rudders, but if you've got shallow draft, you can get in here. And this is about 3 foot deep. And once you're here, you've even got the sandbank to knock out the chop on a high tide, because the wind is predominantly southeast. Well, during the trades, is when you travel Australia, you don't want to go in cyclone season. Although you can, I have done it. You just have to be close to the coast, ready to, you know, zip into a mangrove. But this place would be unbelievable. I mean, literally, I've yet to do it in my cat because we were going out to the Swain, so I only visited Northwest just for a day. But easy opportunity to get in there, tucked in, and no one around, just beautiful. But some part of the reef you can actually get in. Now you can get in here and you can anchor probably here and here. This would be also an excellent place to anchor. I've yet to do it, but we will check these places. But this is just an example. There are thousands of places like this around the world, and you're limiting yourself when you have deeper draft. This is Broomfield Reef. Doesn't look like much. Round reef. Do you reckon you could anchor here? It's woeful if you anchored outside. Round reef, there's no protection. The swell just wraps around. It's just awful. I've actually anchored here a couple of times. It's a wild ride, but it has, look, I'm not going to go into detail. One day maybe we'll go visit these places again, but the world's full of thousands of other places, so we'll check out those places before we do places closer to home. But Broomfield Reef, boy, so the stories I could tell you, the crazy things. I once met up with the University of New South Wales dive group on Northwest Island. I was staying on Northwest Island. I heard they had to drop someone off at Heron Island, so I had a great idea. I said, on your way through to Heron, why don't you drop me off on this little reef and I'll go spearfishing, because I was spearfishing for them to catch food for them. It was a symbiotic relationship, people. I'd spearfish and they'd supply the females. It's wonderful. And so you just drop me off here and pick me up 6 hours later. The reason why I wanted to go to Broomfield is we'd helped some fishermen out, and I got to talking with him and I said, I love Spangled Emperor. And he said, I know a spot. And he told me about some little lagoons on Broomfield Island. I didn't know whereabouts they were. There was no Google Maps. I didn't have any maps. He just said, yeah, there's some lagoons on Broomfield. So, all right. So Michael, he dropped me off. I don't know, he just dropped me off at the closest spot, and I'm looking, I'm going, I can't see any lagoon. Just go walking. So I had 2 spear guns, 1 litre of water, or maybe 2 litres of water, I don't know. It wasn't much, no radio, no nothing, no safety gear, no flares, nothing. And so I just started walking, and these reefs, they're quite big, although Broomfield's a smaller reef. But anyway, just walking, and it's on the, you know how the coral dies and it's still brittle? I'm walking on that. And so you got to watch it because, you know, you can fall through, break an ankle or whatever. Anyway, I eventually found these little lagoons. It was amazing, literally the bluest blue you could ever see. And I just sort of snuck my head in, I looked, and there was Spangled Emperor everywhere, just going, it was unbelievable. Loaded up both guns, bang, bang. It's a bit easy at the start, true, and I don't like it to be easy, but I had 36 people to feed. And then I had to chase all the other ones around this lagoon, but they couldn't get out because it was dead low tide. Anyway, after a few hours, the tide started coming in, and it was a vicious current. And all the dead emperor that I'd stuck in a net bag on the reef, all the blood's drifting out, down, and the tide's coming in quick. And he dropped me off for he picked me up maybe 6 or 7 hours later. And I ended up having to claw myself, literally dive down and pull myself along the coral to get to this little sand island. And when I was looking back, because of all the blood trail, there was just fin after fin after fin after fin following me. Well, not following me, but following the 6 bleeding emperor that were trailing behind me. Can you imagine if you actually could get your boat in on high tide? It's big enough, but I'd probably put in 2 anchors, one at the front and one at the stern. It's pretty reliable with the wind, but you just don't want to, because of the current moving across the reef, it's a big current. It's like 4 knots, it's crazy. But can you imagine that? You got your own little lagoon on low tide, and you could actually tease in a tiger shark, because there's a resident tiger shark there. You know, you could burley it up as the tide's dropping, and he'd come into the lagoon, and then you'd have a trapped tiger shark to play with. Can you imagine? And then you could snorkel at night with the tiger shark. Anyway, these are the things I'm hoping to do, but there are thousands of places I'm sure like this around the world. It's just giving you an example of what you can do with shallow draft. Let's look at this picture. How far out to sea do you think Tiffany is here? This is 250 kilometres on a reef out from the mainland. It was unbelievable. It's flat. It's oily. It's like a mirror. And we had no moon, or the moon hadn't risen. At night, it was so brilliant. There was no moon. The stars were bright. They were reflecting from the water. And if you spun around a few times and you opened your eyes and we turned off all the lights of the boat, you almost got vertigo because you just didn't know where up and where down was. It was like floating in space. It was unbelievable. It was like the stars were just completely around you. These sorts of experiences, when you go out in the middle of nowhere, that that overtake you. I mean, check out these reefs. I'm sorry to ramble, but check out this. These are miles and miles. No one goes to these. Look, there's little islands out here. There's no footsteps on these islands. Can you imagine what the reef's like? Can you imagine the sharks? You get whales going past, manta rays. It'd be bloody awesome. But it's not all going to be about seeing tiny little places in the middle of nowhere, pristine, awesome places. We will see culture, provided I can shoot it and put it on the barbecue. Okay, the ramble and the stories is over. Look, there could have been at least 200 episodes on YouTube if I actually had a video camera, or even if I just took some more extra photos, but I didn't take many at all. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you want me to pepper other episodes with some stories? I don't know. Anyway, on with the interview.
Hobbies? Okay. Love rock climbing, love anything outdoorsy, water sports, kayaking, canoeing. I've never done windsurfing.
How far can you swim in an Olympic pool?
10 metres? No, I'm joking. No, I can swim a fair distance, I don't know.
You do 20 laps?
Yeah.
All right, well that's okay. Definitely. That's good. Rock climber, yes, you're thin. Yeah, you've got a perfect physique for a rock climber. And Natalie, hobbies?
Obviously with my background of outdoors, sailing, windsurfing, paddleboarding, kayaking. I love walking.
She's really selling the sailing part, people. You notice that? So what do you like? Sailing?
Sailing.
It's like 5 decibels higher than all the other things. And then, yeah, what have you done? I've sailed before. Did I mention sailing? I like sailing. Yeah, okay, so sailing, excellent. Good on you, Natalie. Well done. How would you like to do spearfishing? Who wants to go first?
I would love to. I've never done it. It's always been a dream.
Yeah?
I'd absolutely love that. That's the one thing I've always wanted to do as well.
Really? Okay.
Great experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
will you teach us?
yeah, well, I can teach you right now. You get the gun and you point it and you shoot. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Happy
so
days.
much.
You're
Think
welcome.
I've got it.
If there's a fish in front of the spear, even better. What's the biggest fish you've ever caught on a fishing rod?
It's big.
That's called bait, ladies. What if we came across a dead bird, or a bird, for example, flew into the mast at night, which has happened, and killed themselves? Would you be prepared to defeather it and stick it in the pressure cooker? Or do you think that's disgusting?
I think if you've got the food opportunities, why not? Like,
Yeah, as long
you're
as
in
it's
the
only
middle of
just
nowhere.
died, it's not been there all day, all night.
Okay. What if it was an albatross?
I don't know if I could do that.
Damn Coleridge and his bloody poem. I bet you they don't learn any Mariners rhymes down at Tristan da Cunha. They're the South Atlantic Islands. I bet you there's still some old guys at the right time of the year when the albatrosses are still plump and they're just about to take flight. They go along in their dinghy, scale the cliffs, and they grab these albatross and they put them in the pot. I bet you they still do. Oh, incidentally, I did see a pelican get hit by a truck, smack, tenderised one side, then hit the bridge, then fell down dead. And I was looking out of the corner of my eye and I went, I'll have that. And so I had to go up the road a bit further, did a U-turn, come and park, ran across the road. There was only a couple of feathers left. Someone had already beaten me to it. So there's more than one of me out there.
Do you ever get hate comments on your channel?
Do I ever? I get hate emails, I get hate comments. I used to get a shitload of them, people. But I think they're getting bored because I usually am a smart ass back. Usually they'll say, like, I had one guy, he goes, you know those caves you dive in? I hope you one day can't find your way out, and slowly you realise and you panic and your last thoughts are of me saying, I hope you die in a cave. And I went, wow, you ought to write a children's book.
Yeah.
Judging from Lisa literally had probably 50,000 comments saying how wonderful she was. And there was maybe 2 comments saying, who's the guy with the curly hair? I tried, people. but they loved Lisa. Did you see any episodes with Lisa?
I've seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, can you explain to me, as a female, I mean, did you get it, or did you just thought she was okay?
No,
or
I got it. I do get it.
you got it?
She's
Please
just-
explain, please.
She's just really sweet, and she takes the piss out of you.
Did you see any of the pineapple episodes where she was struggling because
Oh my
she
gosh,
loved the
yes,
pineapples?
I watched them. I did watch them.
I mean, how did you feel? I would have thought, as someone watching, it was annoying because she kept on going on about the pineapples, but people just saw it as,
It's entertainment.
It was
it's funny.
it was endearing.
Yeah.
yeah, it was endearing.
really-
And can you compare? Will you be? Sorry people, getting a bit emotional. The ratings are in the toilet. Actually, they're not in the toilet. I used to say they're in the S-bend, you know, the S-bend, but now they're way further down. Will you be as good as Lisa is basically what I want. You think you'd get along with her?
Yeah.
I reckon so. We get along with most people.
I mean, we
Like,
could make conversation with a tree.
Yeah.
Pity there's no trees on a boat. You'll have to try harder, girls. All right. What happens if you just came off shift? It's say 3 a.m. in the morning. You've just done the 10 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
and something goes wrong with the sail and we need everyone up. How long does it take you after I yell my head off for you to come up and help with the sail? How long?
Maybe 30 seconds to a minute just to get what I need on and out.
Okay, what about you?
I'd be the exact same. Like the second you're shouting,
Yeah.
like I'm immediately awake.
Okay,
I think
so
when you need
All hands
to,
on deck. You've
yeah.
got to do that.
you can
yeah.
do that? You can
Yeah,
do that?
absolutely.
Well, that's interesting. That's good because when I asked Lisa that, she's saying 10, 15 minutes. Half an hour. We love Lisa anyway, so we don't care if it took her 3 hours. Lisa, take your time. Come on. The sail's shredding. It's okay. Is the little beautiful had enough sleep? Final issue. What was the final issue? Okay, one final comment from each of the lovely ladies to all the naysayers, because there's going to be one or two. Even with 50,000 comments about how good Lisa was, there was one person when, oh, I didn't see the big deal about Lisa. Well, we got rid of him. No, we didn't. Everyone's got their sail. So what would you say to people that would say, you're no good for this trip, Scarlett? What would you say?
I guess that it doesn't really matter because I'll be having the best life of my life, best time of my life on a boat.
And Natalie, one last comment for the naysayers.
You're the lovers or your haters, and if you're haters, then bye.
What about just saying, get stuffed?